everybody. I bet you thought I forgot about Principal's office hour. Well, I didn't. I am a day late. I swear, I think the universe has been against me a little bit on these, because the last time I wanted to do one, my stepmom was sick, and now Marlon's mom is sick. So it's just, I'm like, okay, am I ever going to get one of these done? But it was really important for me to get this one done, especially because, like I said in some previous videos, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. But let me start off with this. If you are new to Principal's Office Hour, I believe this is volume 3. I will put the playlist of all of the Principal's Office Hours I've done previously in the description, along with the 2 books that were inspiration for this Principal's Office Hour, so that if you want to order them and read them, which I highly recommend, you can do that. But Principal's Office Hour, I came up with to talk about. I wanted to start doing some whip and chats, but I didn't really know how I wanted to do them. I wanted to do them a little bit differently than traditional whip and chats. Not that there's anything wrong with traditional whip and chats. I like watching those as well. But I just remembered that there were teachers that came into my office that really needed help, advice, support, what have you. And I would just sit and I would talk with them. And I didn't know if my observations, advice, what have you, would do any good. But I kept getting teachers saying, oh my gosh, that really helped so much. It really made me think. And it wasn't for me to tell anybody what to do. It was really to help guide people to their own conclusions about things in life, things to think about, that sort of thing. So that being said, I want to share, I am not a psychologist. I have no degree in psychology, psychiatry. I am not a professional in that aspect whatsoever. I did take some college hours in that area, but I am absolutely not a professional in this area. And this is not professional advice. This is just me talking to a camera. So I always encourage people, there is absolutely no shame in getting any kind of help from a therapist. I certainly have, and it's been extremely helpful. So, again, this is not professional advice. This is just friend-to-friend advice and friend-to-friend observations and things that will uplift people and maybe help them think about some things. So that's what Principal's Office Hour is. And like I said, I'll link the playlist below. What we are talking about today, the topic we are talking about, is perfectly imperfect. The innate need, or at least my innate need, to strive all the time for perfection, for an ideal, and why we do that, and what we can do to avoid it, avoid comparison, avoid beating ourselves up for falling short of some ideal that really no one could ever, achieve. I'm guilty of it, and I know that there are a lot of people that are guilty of it as well. Again, no shame in that. We're all human. We all, okay, these drills are not going down. We all, struggle sometimes with that. So I just have some things that I've read and I've thought about, and this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because this is a real struggle for me, and really have given it a lot of thought. So before I start, I will tell you what I am working with here. I have started, now don't worry, I've worked on a section of my owl before I started this new painting. This is a new painting I started last night. This is Sleeps with Butterflies. Is that what it's called? Yes, Sleeps with Butterflies from artist Margaret Morales. I really wanted to complete a Morales painting this year, and I'm starting one, and I'm so excited. And this is absolutely beautiful with drills down. You can see the effect. I'm not replacing anything on this canvas. I am doing it as charted. It has got 4 fairy dust and 2 ABs, and that's exactly what I'm going to put in this. This would be one that I guess you could bling up. I have chosen not to, again, because it is my first Morales, and I want to see what a Morales is as charted by Diamond Art Club. My pen is from Candylicious Pens, Heather Valentine. I love it. I tried to kind of match up the watercolory pen to the painting. My tray is from Yellow Dog Designs. The wax, I have got an 8-placer. It is one of Diamond Art Club's metal, well, I have both a single placer and an 8-placer from Diamond Art Club's metal placers. I love these placers. Patty wax in my multi-placer, super sticky patty wax in my single placer. Tweezers from Spell Queen that I've had for 11 million years. The containers that I am using, I think I got this as a gift. I'm not quite sure if you can see it, but they're the big Tic Tac containers. So that is all of the items that I'm working with. Oh, and I have my beautiful Crashly release papers from Crafts with Crashly. Love me some Crashly. So that's that. And so let's get into this. Perfectly Imperfect. Okay. The 2 books that I'm going to be sharing with you today are 2 that I absolutely love and have read many times. The first one is What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey, who I absolutely love. She, obviously is an icon. Loved her Super Soul Sunday series. But she wrote this book, What I Know for Sure. And it's a great one. And like I said, I'll link it in the description. And then the second one, as always, is Brene Brown, who is one of my very favorite people that has just really helped give me a perspective on things in my life. And her book is The Gifts of Imperfection. She's written many gifts. And you can see, as featured on Super Soul Sunday, Oprah and Brene Brown are connected. Very honored to have gotten to meet Brene Brown. She's an amazing human being, and really highly recommend any book by Brene Brown you can get your hands on and read. It really helps you to think, helps you to reflect, and just get some good perspective. So all right, so for Perfectly Imperfect, right now we're struggling with some family health issues. And this has really kind of given me some perspective on that too, because as we get older and as we, the sand in the hourglass, is rolling, and we don't know when that time is that the sand runs out. But, as we do, you reflect on a lot of things. And one thing that I have struggled with again in my life is comparison and perfection. Basically, I am, again, doing this because I know a lot of people like it, and a lot of people have really appreciated these principles office hours. So for those of you sitting there going, oh my gosh, she's dealing with a lot and she's still doing this. Yes, because it's extremely important to me. So let's start talking about perfection. All of my life, I have struggled with the inner drive for perfection. It started at a very, very young age, grades, any type of thing in my life, looks, weight, friendships, motherhood, professionally, family, entertaining. I used to hate throwing parties. I hated it. Not because I didn't want people in my life. I'm an extremely social person. I love being with people, but I hated throwing dinner parties. I hated throwing parties because I would spend the entire event not enjoying the company. I would spend the entire event worrying, are people having fun? Are they liking the food? Did everyone get enough to eat, enough to drink? Were they enjoying themselves? Is the house clean enough? Do I look okay? Am I entertaining enough? Am I boring? I wonder what they're going to say when they leave. That's all I was worried about. And when I look back at that and have gained some perspective on it, they really didn't care about all that. All they cared about was seeing me and seeing each other and the fellowship and the camaraderie. They didn't care about the house, or that the couch might have a stain on it, or that there were some dishes in the sink, or maybe I had a hair out of place. They didn't care. They were there to see me and to spend time. And I spent so much time worrying about that kind of stuff. It really drives me insane now because, I spent so much time worrying and not worrying about just being in the moment and being present. So I've always had this inner drive. I'm going to be better. I'm going to do more. I'm going to, make it better the next time. And there's no shame in reflecting and self-improvement and always, wanting to, be better or whatever. But when it becomes a drive that absolutely drives you insane, that becomes a problem. And it's been that way for me for a very long time. Another thing, reading that list of everything that I wanted to be perfect at is exhausting. Another thing, as I've gotten older that I've thought about, oh my God, I'm 56 years old. I'm getting older. I'm going to become irrelevant. People are going to stop listening to me. People are going to stop thinking that what I have to say is important, or no one's going to have time for me anymore. And I had to stop thinking that. And I want to read you a little something from Oprah Winfrey in the book, What I Know for Sure. For those of you just getting here for the principal's office hour, I'll tell you a little secret. I really don't get a lot of diamond painting done during this time because I'm busy reading and talking. So sorry, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So excuse me for reading, but this is just really good. She said, "This is why over the years I've made it a point to ask women how they feel about aging. I've asked everyone from Bo Derek to Barbara Streisand. Ally McGraw told me, the message women my age send to terrified 30 and 40-year-old women is that it's almost over. What a jip." Beverly Johnson said, why am I trying to keep this teenage body when I'm not a teenager and everybody knows it? This was an epiphany for me. And Sybil Shepherd's honesty offered terrific insight. I had a great fear as I grew older that I would not be valued anymore. Yes, me too. If you're blessed enough to grow older, which is how I look at aging, right? There are so many people that won't get there, that die very young, right? There's so much wisdom to be gained from people who are celebrating the process with vibrancy and vigor and grace, Botox and filler and plastic surgery just to stay youthful. And, I bought into that for a while. Oh, you can look great and you can have this done and that done. Guess what? You're still 56 years old, Kara. It doesn't matter what you have done. If your face is stretched to kingdom come and you've got filler and everything else, you really actually look ridiculous. But, that's just my opinion. But Oprah says, I've had wonderful mentors in this regard. Maya Angelou doing speaking tours in her mid-80s. Quincy Jones, always off in some far-flung part of the world creating new projects. Sidney Poitier, epitomizing who and what I want to be if I'm fortunate to live so long. Reading everything he can get his hands on, even writing his first novel at age 85, continuously expanding his fields of knowledge. And that's what I thought about. I want to do that. I want to celebrate my age and I want to learn more and grow more. If we stop learning every day is when we start to, become irrelevant. We've got to read and learn and grow, in order to offer what we can to the world. For sure, we live in a youth-obsessed culture that is constantly trying to tell us if we're not young and glowing and hot, we don't matter. But I refuse to buy into such a distorted view of reality, and I would never lie or deny my age. To do so is to contribute to a sickness pervading our society, the sickness of wanting to be what you're not. I know for sure that only by owning who and what you are, you can step into the fullness of life. And so whether it's aging or what clothes you wear, your weight, your looks, whatever, owning who you are and what you are, that's when you can step into the fullness of life, okay? The best way to your best life isn't denial. It's owning every moment and staking a claim to the here and now. I have always been drawn to people that live life unapologetically, who are self-actualized, who absolutely embrace life with vigor. And you know these people. I find them fascinating and I love being around them. I really, really do. They've got it. They get it. You know, I talk about people just getting it, just getting life. They get it. Okay. It says you're not the same woman or man you were a decade ago. If you're lucky, you're not the same woman or man you were last year. The whole point of aging, as I see it, is change. If we let them, our experiences can keep teaching us about ourselves. I celebrate that, honor it, hold it in reverence, and I'm grateful for every age I'm blessed to become. So, that really spoke to me as well. So why are so many people struggling with this? Struggling with perfection in your craft. Oh, I have to be so good and my drills have to be perfectly straight. The first time I did the principal's office hour, you know what the first thing I thought was? Oh my God, these drills aren't perfectly straight. They're going to see that they're not all like perfect. Nope, they're not. They're absolutely not. And I need to be okay with that. If I'm going to do this principal's office hour, I need to get okay with the fact that people are going to see imperfections. And you know what I've discovered? I think through me being real and me saying, oh my God, this happened and it was a disaster and it wasn't perfect, people feel comfortable to go, oh my God, it's not just me. People don't feel so alone, right? When you share your imperfections and you share your reality. That's life. And it absolutely causes community to happen because no one's perfect. And if you continue to try to act that way or act like it is perfect, again, you're not establishing community with other people. One of the greatest gifts that people long for and strive for is connection. In order for you to connect with other people, you gotta be real. One of the biggest compliments people give me is, Kara, you're just real. You just say what it is and how you did it. And if it was terrible and a disaster, you're not afraid to say it. Well, I have been afraid to say it. Again, I'm not perfect. So, anyhow, so why is this? Why do we strive for this? And why do we have to take perfect pictures of our diamond paintings before we share our progress, or the best lighting or the best angle, or we straighten our drills and, we try to put everything in the best light? Oh, I'm going to take a picture and put it on social media. Okay, well, take 50 so I can pick the best one, and we filter them and all this stuff. Well, comparison is one. Oh my God, I know so-and-so and she's so much more perfect than I am at diamond painting. Someone's faster, someone's better, someone has straighter drills, someone has, this, that, the other. Comparison, I always say, is the thief of joy. We've got to stop comparing ourselves to other people. There are, I promise you, a ton of people out there that are better diamond painters than me. Am I enjoying the process of diamond painting? You bet. I am perfect at that. I am perfect at enjoying diamond painting. Okay. So, comparison is always, there will always be someone, always be someone better than you at whatever you're doing. Someone will be taller, prettier, skinnier, smarter, what have you. So if we constantly compare ourselves to others, we are robbing ourselves of joy. We really, really are. So compare yourself to yourself. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you getting better at diamond painting? Are you being a better person today than you were yesterday? The only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself, right? Nobody is like you, okay? Again, social media is a big one. How many likes am I getting? How many followers am I getting? How many, oh my gosh, who's liking the picture? Is it really that good? Maybe I should take it down. Maybe, all of this. We think we are supposed to be a standard, an ideal, a milestone. We see it all the time. Oh my gosh, this person is restocking 20 million snacks on TikTok. Well, I don't have that many snacks in my home. My kitchen is a wreck. My kitchen isn't that big. You can compare yourself at every single turn in your life. And it's dangerous to do that because, again, it robs you of joy. So, do we really take time? Okay, we're going to now get into the part of this principal's office hour on what can we do about this? Like, why are we like this? And what can we do to kind of start thinking about overcoming it? And I had to do a lot of soul searching because, like I said, I'm guilty as sin of this, of perfection and trying to strive for perfection in everything that I do. So how can we overcome it? The first thing that we need to truly do is know ourselves. Have you taken time to know who you are? Our strengths, our weaknesses, our wishes, our wants. Once we take time to really know ourselves and get self-actualized, really know and be able to admit our strengths and our weaknesses, we know what resources we have. I am horrible at numbers. I'm also extremely attention deficit. So memory and keeping things together and keeping plates spinning all at once is a struggle for me, okay? That's why I have to be super picky about what I agree to do, not do, what have you, because it's difficult for me to keep plates spinning in the air. Sorry, getting out another color. It's right now, this principal's office hour is difficult for me because I'm having to do 50 things at once. So, that's a struggle for me. So again, once we take time to know ourselves and to know our strengths and our weaknesses, we're one step closer to living what Brene Brown calls a wholehearted life without apology. And I'm going to read you what Brene Brown's definition of wholeheartedness is. Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. One thing I love about the diamond painting community as a whole is you have embraced me for me. You don't care what I look like. You don't care how much money I have or what I don't have. You've embraced me for me, and that's it. And that is rare. So this community is a great, great place because there are people in this community I know that have not always had that. And this community has given that to them, including me. With my job and the way I grew up and the organizations I was involved in, it wasn't always people liking me for me and just what I had to offer as a human on this planet. But when you get to a group of people that don't let them go. Do not let them go. It's not what you can do for people or people liking you for what you have to offer or what you can get them or give them. It's just, they think you're a pretty terrific person for being yourself. Okay. So we've got to get to this wholehearted, place of living. But what can we do to get there? Okay. Brene Brown also says wholehearted living is a process. You're not going to all of a sudden wake up one day and say, I'm wholehearted. I am now living life to the fullest and I'm embracing my imperfect. No. Believe me, I am still getting there, but that's the beauty of it. It's a journey. And if we take the time to really start thinking about ourselves and what our strengths and weaknesses are, we can slowly but surely get there, right? Wholehearted living is a process and it's the journey of a lifetime, okay? There's some guideposts that Brene Brown talks about in order to get to living a wholehearted life and embracing our imperfections. One, and this is going to be hard for some people if you're not used to doing it, but I tell you, if you can get there and you can do it, you will cultivate community around you almost immediately, and that is cultivating authenticity. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know the answer to that, or I don't know about that. Tell me about that. I learn new things every single day. I asked a group of my teachers, why don't teachers ask more questions in faculty meetings? I know people don't know the answers, and yet they go back to their classrooms and they mess it up, and that's okay. Everybody messes up, and I certainly wasn't dinging them for messing up, but it was like, if they just would have asked the question, they would have gotten it. And the teachers that were brave enough and wholehearted enough to tell me the answer, they were like, Kara, we didn't want to look like we didn't know in front of you. We don't want to get in front of you and act like we don't know. And I'm like, but why? Well, you're the boss. We don't want to look like a bunch of dummies in front of you. And I'm like, but asking questions is just as smart as knowing the answers. I interviewed a lot of people in my career, and it was the questions that they asked that really impressed me. So again, cultivating authenticity. I don't know. I'm doing the very best I can with the resources I have, and I may not hit the mark, but this is what I did to get there, and it really worked. Or don't do that. It totally messed up. It totally screwed up. And the more you do that, again, the more people are comfortable around you, and they're comfortable in sharing their experiences and sharing it with you. Like I said, the greatest compliment anyone can ever pay me is, Kara, you're just real. You're just a real person. You don't try to pretend like you're perfect or you know it all. And I don't pretend, because I don't I don't know it all. But cultivating authenticity. But to cultivate authenticity and be real is you have to let go of what people think. What will people think of me if I don't know? What will people think of me if these drills aren't straight on my canvas? What will people think of me if I go face on for a video? What will they think? You have to let that go, and that's difficult. That's why this is a journey. It's not you're going to wake up one day and have all this, or read the gifts of imperfection and be this wholehearted person. It's work. You have to continue to work at it. Number 2, in order to get to cultivating authenticity, you have to cultivate self-compassion. I say this all the time. You have to be kind to yourself. I say be kind at the end of all my videos, and I'm reminding myself, be kind to yourself. I'm not kind to myself a lot, but you have to cultivate that self-compassion, and that, you know what, I may try this and it may flop miserably, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to try anyway. So self-compassion, be kind to yourself. You're doing the best you can with the resources you have. An example of that is I almost didn't come on to do this today. We've been dealing with a lot. I'm tired. Marlon is brain dead. We've just been working through a lot of stuff, and we're going to have to make some hard decisions here within the next 24 hours. And I thought, oh man, I don't know that I'm at the top of my game to do this. And then I thought, nope, Kara, you're going to do it. People will understand. People in this community will understand, and they will embrace this, because probably a lot of them have been through this as well. So again, you're my tribe, you're my people. So I know that you will support and lift me up throughout this whole process. And even though it's not perfect, I know that. So the third guidepost that Brene Brown talks about in The Gifts of Imperfection is cultivating a resilient spirit. My mother taught me a lot about a resilient spirit. I may not be perfect, but I'm pretty resilient. And in order to thrive in a career, in a life, in a marriage, in a relationship, or really go for anything that you want, you have to cultivate a resilient spirit. What if you don't get what you want? I haven't gotten what I've wanted many times. My mother taught me this, and I have lived with it. And I've told others about it, and they're like, that's pretty sound advice. My mother used to say, Kara, you have 24 hours to throw a pity party for yourself. Cry, eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, scream, kick, do whatever you need to do. But after 24 hours, you're getting your butt up and you're getting back out there and you're going to make things happen. I will give you 24 hours. That's what you got. You can talk to me, again, cry, kick, scream, whatever you need to do. But after 24 hours, you need to get up and you need to continue getting going. That is what Brene Brown means by a resilient spirit. So what if you put something out there and it doesn't work? It's happened to me many times. I have applied for jobs I haven't gotten. I have gone for things in the diamond painting world that I haven't gotten. Okay, what are you going to do, right? You have to create that resilient spirit. It's like the old Rocky quote. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you can get back up and keep going. And that is more difficult to do than I'm saying. And it's been very difficult for me in situations when I really, really wanted something and didn't get it. And I bring this up in the gifts of imperfection because it's easy for us to get in this cycle of self-doubt. Well, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't perfect enough. They don't like me because, I didn't do this as well as so-and-so. Back to comparison, right? You can't get in that cycle. You have to, again, cultivate that resilient spirit. Not going to happen overnight, but you have to think about that. So that resilient spirit, again, letting go of numbing and powerlessness. You're not powerless. The world doesn't just happen to you. Some fairy doesn't come down and make bad things happen to you, or come down and say, you know what, you've had enough bad things happen to you. We're going to make great things happen for you. No, that's up to us. We are in charge of our own happiness. We are in charge of our own destiny. We really are. Sorry to sound corny and cliche, but it's true. So use the Nancy Thomas method. Try it. Throw yourself a pity party for 24 hours and then decide what you're going to do, because you're going to have to get up and get going sometime. Okay? Don't let powerlessness drag you into the abyss of, well, I'm just never going to do this. I'm never going to be okay, at it, or what have you. The next guidepost that we can use and think about when we are trying to combat perfection is cultivating gratitude and joy. I have talked about this on previous Principles office hours, and I believe in it. Attitude of gratitude, everyone might think, or some people might think that is cliche. It is absolutely not. When I am thinking of things, even in the worst of times, like right now, we're dealing with a lot. I am grateful for a lot of things in this situation as well. And when you are thinking about what you are grateful for, really seriously thinking about it, don't just go through the motions. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for this. And that may be serious business to you, but really think about specific things today that you're grateful for. What are you thankful for? There is always, even in the worst of situations, something to be grateful for. Oprah recommends doing a journal of gratitude. If you keep a journal, I am terrible at keeping a journal, but I'm getting better. Think of 5 things each day that you are grateful for. That also takes you on that journey of self-actualization. What are you good at? Write down 5 things that you're good at, that you know what? And some people are uncomfortable talking about that. Like when you go into a job interview, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? I hate that question. I hate it. Because I'm not quite comfortable going, oh, I'm really so good at this and, what have you. And then, people, oh, what are my weaknesses? Well, I care about people too much. They think about, their answer on a job interview like, oh, well, if I answer that way, if I answer that I'm completely disorganized, I'm not going to get the job. So I'm going to think of some pat answers to lay out. But if you really privately, again, if you're uncomfortable sharing this with another person, then don't. It's fine. Write down the things that you're really good at. What are you good at? There's always something that you're good at. Don't tell me that if you're sitting there diamond painting going, well, I'm not really good at anything. No, I'm not taking that as an answer. That is not okay. You are always good at something. All right. If it's not a particular skill, which, we all are skilled at crafting or what have you, that if you're listening to me, most of, 99.9% of you, I'm assuming, are crafters. You're good at that. Or like me, you're good at enjoying that. And that is a strength. It is. You find joy in that. And that's great. And you can share it with others. So cultivating that gratitude and joy. Trust yourself. You are your best advocate. That's another guidepost to self-actualization, to combating perfectionism. Trust yourself. If you're a creator and you have an idea for a video you think is completely different, it may be off the wall, it may not be what people are used to, and your inner gut, and you know what I'm talking about here, your inner self is telling you, this could be really good, do it. Do it. What's the worst that can happen? Really? Not a whole lot. If you're not offending others, if you're not, doing anything that's going to harm yourself or others, then it could be a wonderful, wonderful thing. So trust your inner gut. A lot of people won't go with their gut because of, why do you not? Because of perfectionism. What if people don't like it? What if this is just a crazy idea that I have and no one will like it. No one will. I had a lot of self-doubt about doing this series, and it turned out, guess what? I was scared. I did it anyway. And it turns out that people like it and they need it and they've been waiting for it, and that made me feel great. Whether or not 1 million people watch it didn't matter to me. It was people resonated with it and they liked it. So go with your gut. And if your gut is telling you that something might be good, do it. Try it. What's holding you back? Perfectionism, I'm telling you. I love this one. This is the one that's probably the most important in the diamond painting world. Cultivating creativity. Cultivating creativity. What will people think? What will people think if I show them something and it's not as good as somebody else? Or what if, this isn't straight, or I mess it up, or what have you? Cultivate that creativity. Try something. I always say, try something that scares you every day. Try something new in crafting. I'm trying new stuff all the time. Is it on camera? No. Obviously, I want to get halfway decent. I don't have to be perfect at it, but I have to at least know about it, or else, I wouldn't be doing a service to anyone if I got on camera and did it. But I try things, and I'm pushing myself because I'm completely impatient. I'm not a patient person. When I try something, I want to be good at it right away. It better work. I better be good at it. I will tell you, miniatures is a thing with me. I like it. I'm not great at it. And, I always run away. I always jokingly run away when Brandy's like, let's do a miniature. And I'm like, no, oh no, I'm so bad at it. Well, I still like it and I still find joy in it. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep at it and cultivate that creativity. And you get better at it the more you practice. Crochet is an example, and this is something that people need to think about too when knowing yourself, okay? We do crafts that bring us joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. Crochet is something that does not bring me joy. It stresses me out. And it's not just because I can't do it. I'm just it just doesn't work with me for some reason. I just don't find joy in it. Miniatures, on the other hand, they frustrate me to no end, but I like it. I'm not good at it, but I like it. It brings me joy to finish it and see the finished product. So that's the difference. Do things that bring you joy, but that also, again, you can really feel satisfaction with. I do not get satisfaction out of crocheting. There are other people that may not get satisfaction out of miniatures. I don't know, but do some different things that bring you joy. All right, so that's cultivating creativity. And again, that's letting go of that comparison piece, because there will always be someone that's better than you at something. All right. The next guidepost is cultivating play and rest. Letting go of exhaustion, to-do lists. I used to do this all the time. I wore to-do lists. I wore the fact that I was doing more than anybody else like a brownie badge. It was, a big old award for me. Oh, look at me. I'm doing so much more, and I'm doing this, that, the other, and everyone's going to look at me and think how great I am. Nope, I was absolutely running myself into the ground. Now, when I say yes to projects, to collaboration, to what have you, I really think about, what's my motive here? What is my motive in doing this? Am I doing this to help people? Am I doing this to generate community within the diamond painting world? Am I doing this to truly help someone? Or am I doing this to put a badge on that says, look at me and how great I am? You got to check your motives. And when you do that, you can cultivate play and rest. You don't have to be on 24/7. There have been times when I've taken a break from videos. I will tell you, if I am not in the mood to video, I don't do it. I do not do it. I will tell Marlon, I'm just not in a mode to video. I just cannot. I'm not at that capacity right now, and I like to be high energy when I do videos. I like to bring that energy out in other people, and when I'm not feeling it, I don't do it. I don't force myself. I just don't. So cultivating play and rest is important in this journey. And it's in that play and in that rest that we can think about ourselves, and we can think about going back to our strengths, our weaknesses, what are our wants, what are our needs for this life. But we can only do that if we're allowing ourselves to stop and take a pause and get off the merry-go-round and just think. One of the greatest gifts I have gotten in my retirement is I can think. I was running crazy in my job. So, that's really a gift. Also, in cultivating this play, dance like no one's watching and sing your heart out. Let go of always being in control. It is always so much fun. It's really, when people watch me being silly and me not caring what people think and being silly and goofy, it's really not as funny as watching someone that's in complete control be silly. If you think about the TV show The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon Cooper is always in control, very serious. But when he gets silly, it's hilarious because it's so not him. But we have to allow ourselves to do that. I promise you, it's been in moments when I have just let myself go and done stuff that's completely off the wall that I've had some of my best memories. I really have, dancing with my kids in the kitchen. Let's go on an adventure, Mom. Okay, why do we always say no to stuff? Why can't we just say yes and do it? If we have the time and the capacity and all of that. Say yes, start saying yes to things more. Shonda Rhimes wrote a book called The Year of Yes. And it really expanded her perspective on herself and her life. Say yes more often. What's gonna, people laugh, but they're laughing with you, seriously. But again, it's when silly people do silly things, it's funny, but it's not as funny as watching somebody that is in complete control do something, That's why my kids, I always used to, if we get this many PTA memberships, you can silly string me. Well, they saw me as the principal of the building, so it was hilarious for them to duct tape me to a wall, to silly string me, to turn me into an ice cream sundae. There were all kinds of things that they did that they thought were hilarious because I was supposed to be the serious, together, in control principal. Well, it's funny. It's hilarious. And guess what? It was even more hilarious and funny to me. And it brought me such joy. And I wasn't comparing myself to anybody else. I was just me, just being real and just being fun and so in the moment that I forgot all about the stressors of life, the stressors of comparison, who I was supposed to be. It was great. Some of my greatest memories are made that way. Okay. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is owning your story. Owning your story in thinking about perfection and thinking about who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be. Owning your story, as Brene Brown says, is one of the bravest things that we can ever do. Some of our stories are not good. I've heard them. They're not good. Some of them are great. Some of them started out great, got really bad, and then got really good again. It just depends on you and what your story is. But if we can look back on our story with kind eyes and really own it, and good can come of it, Brene Brown says that's the bravest thing that we can do. And it doesn't mean we have to share our story 50 million times. You only share your story with people that deserve to hear it. Whether that's a good friend, whether that's, whoever you want to share it with, you own that and own it and be proud of the person that it's made you. Help it shape you, help it define you, and help it or have it help you reflect on your life, and what you can do for others and what you can do to lift each other up. Because after all, we are all doing the best we can, just fumbling around on this big marble in space. Every day, we're doing the best we can with the resources that we've got. And it's not perfect. It is not. And once we embrace that and embrace our story and embrace our journey, we take a step towards becoming self-actualized and a step towards spilling your drills, apparently. See, told you. Everything is not, that couldn't have happened at a better time. I am telling you right now. We embrace our story, we embrace our imperfections, and we become more self-actualized, and hopefully we love each other. We love ourselves and each other a little bit more. And I'm going to leave you with something that I heard, and it's so, so true. And I want you to think about it. And please leave comments in the comment section. I love to hear your thoughts about the things that I say in these. When you're thinking about perfection and what it is and what it's not, it's okay to be a little cracked. That's how the light gets in. Thank you for being my light that shines through my cracks, and hopefully I can shine a light on someone else and help them to understand it's okay to be imperfect. All right, guys, that's what I've got. I hope you've enjoyed this Principal's Office Hour, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.